For centuries, the words have echoed with fear and fascination. No one may buy or sell unless he has the mark. They were written long before microchips, databases, or digital wallets, long before fingerprints unlocked doors, long before faces became passwords. Yet today, as the world rapidly shifts toward biometric identification and cashless systems, an ancient question has returned with new urgency. Are modern digital identity systems the mark of the beast? To answer honestly, we must slow down, not panic, not sensationalize, but think. Because fear thrives where understanding is absent. We are living through a technological transformation unlike anything before it. Governments and corporations are building digital identity systems to solve real problems: fraud, identity theft, financial exclusion, border security. Biometrics promise convenience: your face instead of a card, your fingerprint instead of a password. Cashless systems promise efficiency: faster transactions, fewer crimes, global access. On the surface, it looks practical, even helpful. And yet, Scripture lingers in the background. Revelation speaks of a system that controls buying and selling, a system tied not just to economics, but to allegiance, not merely identification, but worship. This distinction matters. The mark of the beast, as described in Scripture, is not presented as a neutral technology. It is not accidental. It is not passive. It is a conscious act of loyalty, a willful alignment with a system that openly opposes God. The mark is not simply about what is used. It is about what is chosen. Technology by itself has no morality. A fingerprint scanner cannot demand worship. A digital wallet cannot redefine your soul. Throughout history, every major innovation has been feared as apocalyptic. Credit cards were once called the mark, barcodes, national ID numbers, even paper money. Yet each time the world adapted and prophecy remained unfulfilled. Why? Because prophecy is not fulfilled by resemblance alone. It is fulfilled by substance. The biblical warning is not primarily about technology. It is about authority. Who rules, who defines truth, who demands obedience when obedience conflicts with conscience. Digital systems can centralize power. They can be abused. They can be weaponized. And those risks should not be ignored, but caution is not the same as condemnation. A cashless society may control commerce, but it does not automatically control worship. A biometric ID may track identity, but it does not automatically replace faith. The danger is not in the tools themselves, but in how absolute they become. The real warning of Revelation is this: there will come a time when participation in society requires surrendering moral allegiance, when survival is traded for submission, when refusal comes with consequences. That moment is not defined by technology alone, but by coercion, forced worship, forced loyalty, forced denial of truth. Until those elements are present, fear clouds discernment. Jesus warned his followers not to live in constant alarm, but in readiness, not obsessed with signs, but anchored in faith. The early church lived under empires with total economic control, surveillance, and persecution, yet they were told not to fear systems, but to remain faithful within them. The question then is not, is this the mark? The better question is, what kind of people are we becoming? Are we surrendering conscience for convenience, truth for access, freedom for comfort? Technology reveals hearts before it fulfills prophecy. The mark of the beast will not arrive quietly through convenience alone. Scripture describes it as a defining moment, clear, deliberate, and unmistakable. There will be no confusion about what is being asked or what is being denied. Until then, wisdom calls for balance. Be informed but not fearful, be cautious but not consumed, use technology but do not worship it. Participate in society but never surrender your conscience. Because the true threat has never been chips or codes. It has always been misplaced allegiance. Prophecy is not meant to produce panic. It is meant to produce perseverance. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: the people who recognize the mark will not be those obsessed with technology, but those deeply rooted in truth. Not because they rejected every system, but because they never replaced God with one. The question is not whether digital identity systems are rising. They are. The question is whether, When the moment of true allegiance comes, we will recognize the difference between convenience and compromise. Because the mark, when it appears, will not merely be seen. It will be chosen.